Latin Brocards, third video. De gustibus non disputandum est. De gustibus non disputandum est. The Latin expression de gustibus non disputandum est literally means there is no disputing about tastes. This maxim conveys the idea that individual preferences are inherently subjective and cannot be judged according to universal standards. What one person finds beautiful, inspiring, or desirable, another may not, and neither can claim objective superiority. From a philosophical standpoint, the expression promotes tolerance and respect for diversity, reminding us that human perception and emotion are shaped by personal experience, culture, and context. It teaches that every individual possesses unique sensibilities and that disagreement over taste or opinion is both natural and inevitable. In modern times, the phrase continues to be used, often with a tone of resignation or irony, to acknowledge that debates over personal preference are ultimately futile. Example sentences. During the courtroom debate over artistic freedom, the defense lawyer argued that taste cannot be legislated, invoking the principle de gustibus non disputandum est. In discussions on aesthetics, the professor reminded his students that beauty is a matter of perception, concluding with a timeless maxim, de gustibus non disputandum est. When public opinion split over the new monument's design, the mayor diplomatically remarked, de gustibus non disputandum est, acknowledging the plurality of citizens' views. Her friends teased her about her unusual way of dressing, but she shrugged and said with a smile, de gustibus non disputandum est. Everyone has their own style. Errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum. Errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum. The Latin brocard errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum literally means to err is human, but to persist in error is diabolical. This expression conveys the idea that making mistakes is an inherent aspect of human nature. No one is infallible. However, the moral weight of the saying lies in its second part. While committing an error may be excusable, deliberately repeating it after recognizing its consequences is a serious moral failing. This maxim serves both as a philosophical reflection and a moral admonition. It teaches that human fallibility should be met with understanding and forgiveness, but only when accompanied by a genuine effort to learn and improve. Persisting in wrongdoing, by contrast, reflects stubbornness or moral blindness rather than weakness. The phrase is frequently invoked in legal, political, and ethical discussions to underline the importance of accountability and moral growth. Example sentences. The judge reminded the defendant that errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum. The court may forgive a first mistake, but not repeated violations of the same law. Reflecting on human imperfection, the scholar noted that errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum, and wisdom begins when one learns from error. Commentators criticize the government's repeated policy failures, remarking that errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum. After apologizing for being late again, he admitted with a smile that errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum, and promised to set an earlier alarm next time. Repetita IUVANT. Repetita IUVANT. The Latin Brocard repetita IUVANT literally means repetition helps. This maxim emphasizes the pedagogical and psychological value of repetition as a means of reinforcing learning, memory, and understanding. In both formal and informal context, it conveys the idea that repeating important concepts, instructions, or principles, though sometimes tedious, serves a crucial role in ensuring that information is absorbed and retained. In legal and political discourse, the expression is often invoked to justify the reiteration of essential arguments or norms, highlighting the need for clarity and consistency in communication. In everyday life, it applies equally well to education, where parents, teachers, and mentors must often repeat lessons to help children internalize values or knowledge. Repetita IUVANT ultimately reflects patience, persistence, and the belief that repetition, far from being redundant, is a pathway to mastery and understanding. Example sentences. Teachers often remind their students that repetita iuvant, as concepts become clear only when they are reviewed and practiced repeatedly. The senator reinstated his commitment to transparency, explaining that repetita iuvant because key messages must be reiterated until they are truly understood by the public. The lawyer emphasized the same point several times during his closing argument, later justifying his approach by saying repetita iuvant. In fact, important truths deserve repetition. After asking her son for the third time to do his homework, she remarked with gentle irony that repetita iuvant. Repetition may be tiring, but it often brings results. Qui pro quo. Qui pro quo. The Latin Brocard qui pro quo literally means this for that. Originally used in Roman law and commerce to denote an exchange or substitution, over time the phrase evolved to signify a misunderstanding or confusion between two parties, typically when one thing is mistaken for another or when intentions are misconstrued. In modern usage, qui pro quo often refers to a harmless misunderstanding rather than deliberate deceit. It is frequently employed in legal and political contexts to describe situations where communication fails or interpretations diverge, sometimes leading to unintended consequences. In everyday speech, the expression serves as a refined and diplomatic way to acknowledge confusion without assigning blame. In this sense, qui pro quo embodies both precision and courtesy, recognizing human fallibility while maintaining civility in discourse. Example sentences. During the trial, the lawyer explained that the dispute arose from a simple qui pro quo in the contract's translation, not from any intentional fraud. The minister clarified that the controversy was merely a qui pro quo a misunderstanding between two departments rather than a deliberate act of misinformation. In his lecture, the professor warned students to avoid conceptual qui pro quo when translating Latin legal terminology into modern language. When the two friends realized they had been talking about different meeting times, they laughed and said it was just a qui pro quo, nothing serious. Tamquam non esset. Tamquam non esset. The Latin Brocard tamquam non esset literally means as if it does not exist. It is primarily used in legal and commercial context to indicate that a document, statement, or action should be regarded as void, irrelevant, or without legal effect. In business correspondence, the phrase often appears as a polite formula, especially when the sender wishes to retract or nullify a previous communication under specific circumstances. Beyond its technical application, tamquam non esset can also be used metaphorically in everyday language to describe situations, people, or events that have lost relevance or should be disregarded altogether. The expression conveys a sense of formal detachment, allowing one to dismiss something diplomatically rather than confrontationally. Its elegance lies in transforming negation into civility, making it particularly valued in professional and academic communication. Example sentences. The company's letter stated, if payment has already been made, please consider this notice tamquam non esset, a polite way to withdraw an unnecessary reminder. The court declared the contract tamquam non esset since it had been signed without proper authorization and therefore held no legal validity. The researcher decided to treat the unreliable data tamquam non esset, excluding it from the final analysis to preserve methodological rigor. After their disagreement, he chose to act tamquam non esset, as if the quarrel had never occurred, preferring peace over confrontation.